Hello everyone, and welcome to Scooby Doo Unmasked, which is a game I've known about for quite a while because I played Night of 100 Frights many times as a child, but never got around to Unmasked, so we're going to try it now. Seems to be fitting of the season. I have my beloved white mug of red raspberry tea. Be taking a sip of that right now. No, that's okay. I don't think we need a save game file.
It'll sure be good to see my cousin Jed again.
I can't wait to meet him.
Like, what does Jed do, Fred?
He makes monsters.
Monsters? You know what? I just remembered I've got something on the stove. And me and Scoob have to go back.
Relax, you scaredy cats. Jed works for...
I don't recall if the laugh track was in Night of 100 Frights, but it's a nice addition. The jokes aren't particularly funny, but it adds a lot to the atmosphere.
Oh, here we are. Monstrous fright and magic. Monsters while you wait.
Sure. Like, do you mind if we wait in the van?
Facial expressions are good. Animation's a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word?
Like I'll never...
Stiff, that's the word.
...creative types, but I do groove on their style.
Jed, it's Fred.
This place has been completely ransacked.
All right, gang. Let's split up and see if we can find any clues.
I don't recall if it's a regular feature of the lore that all of Fred's cousins have similar names to him, but I know his cousins show up in several other works. Also,
Scooby Doo, where are you?
it appears that somehow we've been separated from everyone already, which must be a new record. I also really,
Oh boy, Scooby snacks.
I recall something which struck me about this game in particular was that it's a full-range, free camera movement 3D platformer, which is not the case with Night of 100 Frights, which I think was also the only one developed by Heavy Iron Studios.
Hey, Scoob, like all the Scooby snacks in this room are making me hungry. I bet you can't find all of them. Okay.
I don't mean to rain on your parade, Shaggy, but is it really important to ask questions like, can you find all the Scooby snacks, as opposed to, why are there Scooby snacks littered around this special effects studio? Also, I think I already said, but definitely a parody of Industrial Light and Magic. I watched a fair bit of the original Scooby Doo as a child, but I watched much more of What's New Scooby Doo, and I've certainly seen the direct-to-DVD films more often than those.
Oh, hi, Scooby. I was trying to find out how to open this door. That's the switch over there, but I don't know how to get to it. Maybe there's a clue somewhere.
That seems very un-Velma-like.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Oh, that was a clue? If you say so. Hey, Velma. Examine,
This key card must open up some restricted area.
Yep. It was just sort of floating.
Found a clue. It's
I-
some sort of key card.
I really don't know if we can call the key card a clue. I think that maybe we're stretching the definition of clue a bit.
Scooby,
Like, I understand you want to teach the audience to look for items which...
Scooby, I'll go show this clue to the others.
You don't have to show that you found a key card to the others, I think, Velma. I understand you want to teach the audience to look for unusual or interesting things in the environment that could help them progress. And I know it's Scooby-Doo, but I don't think that the key card is a clue. I think maybe you could have found something more clever. Like, placed an actual clue somewhere. It does seem that the monster displays have been pretty much entirely left untainted, which makes me wonder if that's somehow related to the mystery. Like, maybe whoever was here whoever did this loved creating monsters but hated working in the studio, so they left the monsters alone out of respect for them. I'm just trying to figure out if I can jump back up. It appears not.
Hey, Scooby. Velma and Daphne went to check out the workshop that way.
Huh?
You'll need to slide down that cable to follow them.
That way, you say, where the holographic green arrow is. Also, Fred, I don't mean to diss your cousins, like...
Oh boy, ice cream.
Ice cream, apparently an ingredient for a sandwich. I don't mean to diss your cousins, like... Professional, what's the word I'm looking for? Architectural and engineering and... Just in general, I feel like this place isn't laid out very good, is what I'm saying. It's shockingly linear for a place of work. The crates lying around, I understand. That's just something that happens if you don't have a very well-cleaned workplace. Something that's always felt weird to me about playing 3D platformers is that I've played a fair few of them, right? And sometimes you have to jump in those, as you might figure. Hi, Daphne.
Scooby, I'm so glad you're here. You've got to help Velma.
How did Velma get in trouble?
By these two huge rats. Try to scare them off.
Scare them? I'm scared.
Did she get cornered by those rats while showing you that really cool key card she found? Oh, oops. Oh, you can just attack the rats. And then they explode into bolts? Okay, seems that way. Because they're not real rats, I would suppose.
You've defeated the rats. Or rather, some sort of rat-like special effects creatures.
The statement, "Good job, Scooby, you've defeated the rats," feels very strange. Like, I know this is a licensed game and it's a 3D platformer and there wanted there to be combat because that was a normal thing in 3D platformers at the time. But it just seems strange, right? That Scooby's running through this environment beating up rats. Granted, robot rats, but would that make him less scared of those? I don't know. I felt like I jumped over a clue just there. I don't know if the rats being fake would make it less scary. Maybe that floating light bulb is for later. Maybe that's not something I need to concern myself with now.
Did it, Scooby Doo?
Maybe this is what it's like being a dog. Maybe you do some pretty rudimentary platforming shenaniganry, and everyone praises you for it.
Scooby Dooby Doo.
Oh, that was the cutscene? Just Velma waving? I guess that was the cutscene.
This looks like a radio beacon. Probably a homing device of some sort.
See, now this is a clue. It's actually quite an incredible clue. Like, the fact that we were able to find a functioning radio device just sitting around, which presumably doesn't belong here. I don't know what kind of special effects they get up to. This is probably a checkpoint. That's what I was trying to grab. Like, again, I don't know what kind of shenanigans they get up to here at Monstrous Fright and Magic, or whatever it was called. I also do think, minor nitpick, that they should make you slam the buttons like that. Because they bothered the... press square to activate Mubber... The Mubber... I turned the Mubbers into a chocolate bar. I wish I knew what a Mubber was. I mean, I've been picking them up. I guess that'll teach me to just start randomly pressing the interact button on things. Really should pay attention. Boing.
Cabbage.
I wonder how many ingredients are needed for a sandwich. Having seen this...
Like, have you found any food? When you do, just look for me in my trusted Porte kitchen, and I'll cook us up one of my delicious meals.
Shaggy, have you noticed that everything in this game is, like, uncannily similar to a linear 3D platformer so far? Like, the awkward distance that y'all are standing apart from each other, the linear layout of this facility, just seems uncannily similar to a 3D platformer.
Hey, Scoob, have you found any food? I'm starving.
I have. I don't know if it's sufficient for...
Smells like you found some food.
Does the chocolate bar particularly smell like anything? Ice cream.
Like, what a cool idea.
Chocolate bar.
Sweet, sweet chocolate.
Is that enough by itself? An ice cream and a chocolate bar? Oh.
Not sure what it but I'm sure it's tasty.
All right. Thanks. I guess an ice cream and a chocolate bar go all right together. Like those are two traditionally sweet things.
Like, hurry up and bring back more food. I'm famished.
I can also see cabbage and peppers working well with something else. Maybe we put some meat in there, some more greens, maybe a salad or some kind of a.
Yikes!
Don't move.
Is that normally the noise it makes when you defeat monsters? That squelching sound?
Like, what mess did you get into,
Are we gonna learn what moobers are? Mubbers? Mubber.
A remarkable soy-based formula that can take any shape. And it only breaks down under UV light. Isn't that right, Marcy?
With Mubber, Mr. Stanton has perfected the most lifelike special effects monsters ever.
And would you believe it even tastes good?
Yummy!
Mr. Stanton, pleased to meet you. I'm Fred. This is
Okay, so my guess,
Daisy and Scooby Doo.
I don't mean to preempt the entire story, is that a guy used to make...
That thief? Look around. He caused all this so he could steal my creations.
Yeah, Jeb used to make traditional animatronics,
Now they're attacking people.
and he went on strike because the animatronics started being made with Mubber,
Some animatronics.
and this guy's trying to frame Jed.
Mr. Stanton, I don't believe Jed would ever do such a thing. We'll get to the bottom of this mystery.
Do you have any idea where Jed could have gone?
Now the question is what this fellow's motivation
For the
is.
New Year's parade.
Does he just hate Jed that much? Oh, the level's complete. I kind of expected there to be a little bit more to that level. Like, I thought we'd stick around a bit longer there. And we're going all the way to Chinatown. Red raspberry tea has a bit of a punch to it, like I like,
Jed's first stop.
in case anyone's curious about that.
Seems kind of quiet for a parade.
You should not be here. The dragon is angry.
Dragon?
And you are?
My name is Maggie Z. I'm in charge of the New Year's celebration.
We're looking for my cousin Jed. He was delivering...
Jeez. Where's Maggie?
Did you guys all just happen to look up at the exact same time
this mystery.
so that way she could disappear conspicuously? Alright, it appears that we're separated again. It seems like this is, they're just speed running the whole let's split up gang situation. Which, points for efficiency, I guess. I think in Mystery Mayhem, which was the previous game to this one, you did have Shaggy with you. I don't know how much exploring I'm really expected to do in this game. Like, this looks like an area I can reach eventually. But it might be story related, and not something that I can access right now.
Scooby right.
I did-
Where were you?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to trigger all three of your
And I'll make more recipes.
voice clips at once, Shaggy. I'm sorry. Hey, look, a clue. I can tell because there's a magnifying glass. Maybe could do a little better than that. Maybe you could make the items unique instead of making them all magnifying glasses.
Hi, Scooby.
Bama, that was really cool. Did you see that?
Great. You found a clue. Let's have a look at it. Interesting. The fortune inside the cookie looks like some kind of binary code.
That seems like an incredibly inefficient way to deliver code to someone. Look, it's perfectly sensible for Jed to go on strike. If he was making animatronics the old-fashioned way, and his boss started manufacturing them using this new synthetic material called Mubber. I don't think I'm supposed to be up here yet, either. It looks like there's something important in there, though. This doesn't strike me as the sort of game where natural exploration is much a component, so much as so much as you're just sort of meant to follow the trails of stuff. But there are the ingredients, so I could be wrong about that. That's another checkpoint, I think, or do those lights just turn on when we figure out where to go next? Maybe that's the case. This game isn't as immediately captivating or engaging as Night of 100 Frights, that's for sure. Like a Night of 100 Frights, the enemy placement, the level design, the humor, and the setup for the mystery, I feel, were much better handled than this. It has been a while. It's really bothering me that I can't... Oh, I can destroy these giant fortune cookies. I guess that's the replacement for crates. Very, very large fortune cookies. But yeah, I don't know. This is, like, passable, right? It reminds me of, like, the Fairly Odd Parents games. Specifically the first one, Break Into Rules. Take another sip of my tea. Like in Break Into Rules, you didn't do anything particularly... Well, here's a platforming segment. I could be wrong. I was about to say in Break Into Rules, you don't do anything particularly meaningful in terms of platforming or exploration, but, you know, it's not like it was a bad game. It was just primarily interested in giving you a taste of the license. Which I'm not sure how I feel about this game's approach to the Scooby Doo license yet. Like, maybe I've just been spoiled because I recently reacquainted myself with Zombie Island and Witch's Curse and the early direct-to-DVD Scooby Doo films, which those are great. Those are pretty exceptional. They really capture the essence of old Scooby Doo, while also adding meaningful permutations to the existing formula. You know, not just deconstructing what worked, but deconstructing it and then being like, you know, these elements are great. What if we just made them even greater? I do kind of like the jump scare sting as an indication that you're about to be spooked by a monster. Like, you understand horror film tropes, you understand what's about to happen.
Help! Oh, boy, who's next?
Don't worry, game. I assure you, my immediate reaction to anything that is unfamiliar is to spin at it. This area is a bit more forgivable because... Oh, is that a ingredient?
Cotton candy for me.
This area is a bit more... Did I accidentally skip a huge chunk of the level? I think I might have just skipped a big chunk of the level by accident.
Oh boy, Scooby's next.
Anyway, areas like this, while video gamey, are a bit more forgivable for me because they feel like they have a clear purpose in terms of game design. And it's actually a lot more atmospheric than any of the 3D segments have been so far. Like, I'm learning a lot more about the environment and setting through this 2D platforming segment than I was in any of the 3D segments so far. Those felt comparatively a bit empty. For what it's worth, Scooby controls really well. He controls pretty much perfectly, which, you know, I've gotten into how controlling too perfectly can be a problem, but I don't think this game's intent to ask very much of the player in general. I wonder what the speedruns of this game are like, if it's easy enough that you can accidentally jump over huge sections of the level. Take another sip of my tea.
Help! Rat!
I wonder if a game like this might have scared kids any. Big spider. Like, it's not impossible. Like, anything generally horror-themed has the potential to scare children, I think. But this certainly isn't as as frightening as the Scooby Doo game on the Nintendo 64 or any such thing. The one on the 64 also had like, what's this? I just want to check out what this is. I didn't. Oh, a trap piece. Okay, so to trap the monster, I would assume.
Oh boy, Scooby snacks.
Another piece of food. Hidden in very rudimentary places, but at least they started hiding them in the environment.
Oh boy, Scooby snacks.
I guess this would be the first. Oh, I guess this would be the first real level, more or less. Anyway, the Nintendo 64 game had its own share of massive problems, but especially if you're a kid, it was genuinely scary, right? You were actually actively being chased by monsters. There was a general air of fear. Things made loud noises. There was a fright meter. Again, that's not to say the game was good or any such thing. But I do think maybe it tried a bit harder to capture what Scooby Doo was about. And not in the sense that Scooby Doo is scary, because while it can be and has been scary, it's primarily just horror themed. Am I supposed to fight this guy or run from him? Does he get back up? I got him that time. Or maybe Jeb was upset because his animatronic creations were being infected with Moober. Like maybe it's Mubber. I keep saying Moober.
How dare you disturb the peace of the great Centaur? Leave while you still have the chance.
Like maybe it's the case that Jeb was the one who invented the Mubber in the first place. I don't know. But it seems like something like Mubber would be very disruptive in the special effects industry. Maybe the villain is the guy who's complaining about the Mubber. Like maybe the villain is distressed that Mubber is going to put his own special effects out of business.
Oh no, rat!
And so he created this whole scheme where he makes Jeb look like he's releasing these animatronic villainous creations on the world, but actually it was whoever that guy was that I don't remember the name of, but I certainly recognize his voice actor. Another clue that's just a key. Again, I think maybe that's cheating a little bit.
Oh no, rat!
I'm not saying that keys can't be clues, but you know, keys open doors and stuff. It like directly leads to something, which is not necessarily what clues are for. Does that even go all the way in? It doesn't. I was concerned because I thought that went all the way in. And that I might have to, like, move around it or time myself in some capacity, but it doesn't seem like it was ever much of an issue.
Help! Rat! Oh,
For what it's worth, as a children's 3D platformer goes, the combat's fine. Like, I was hoping I could skip that. The combat's fine. Like, a child would definitely be adequately challenged by this combat, even if it's pretty trivial as an adult. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. The way, again, that this is structured, like, oh, this one does go all the way in. So the first one was probably just to get you used to the concept. I'm not sure if it really needs getting used to. Like, I think that any child should be able to identify that that platform's moving into the wall
help! Rat!
and be able to react accordingly. I don't know if we needed a primer on that. It's a pretty simple platforming hazard. Anyway, as I was saying, I know I brought it up a couple times now, but this really is such a normal 3D platformer. Like, the Scooby Doo theme isn't unwelcome or any such thing, but it feels like there aren't any unique mechanics specifically to make this feel more like a Scooby Doo production or any such thing.
Oh boy, Scooby snacks!
Which, granted, was the case with a lot of much older licensed games than this. A lot of much older licensed games were just 2D platformers for the sake of being 2D platformers. And I suppose this is a 3D platformer for the sake of being a 3D platformer, but... It's not bad. It's just that you could do more with the license. Making 90-100 Frights and Metroidvania was a pretty brilliant move. It made you learn... It made you learn the location inside out, become familiar with your foes and your capabilities. Alright, give me the thing. Is that an apple? It's a very, very polygonal apple. Hey, Shaggy. Shaggy, I only found 3 of 4 ingredients. I'm sorry. Take another sip of my tea.
Sounds like that Zen2O is one tough cookie.
I mean, he showed up and threatened us and then left. I don't know if we can consider him tough from that alone. Is it boss fight time?
By the curse of the dragon, leave now before it is too late. Zen2O has spoken.
Look, a manhole. It looks like Zen2O went into the sewer.
Is that what it looked like to you?
Mystery smells fishy. Keep a lookout, guys. I'm going to find Fred and Daphne.
I can't see anything down there. Where?
Why was Scooby arbitrarily walking backwards?
Could be a key to some sort of machinery. Some monstrous Fred and magic device, maybe. This piece of mubber is shaped like a lizard scale. Maybe it's from that dragon. Oh, hi, Scooby.
Shaggy fell in the sewers.
Shaggy fell in the sewers?
Then he is lost. The sewers are Zen2O's domain.
Everyone knows this. You ask anyone, the sewers are Zen2O's domain. That's just where he likes to hang out.
Oh, no.
What do you know about this Zen2O?
He is a very powerful ghost who controls the great dragon. He has cursed this city. You should leave.
Do you know where I can find him?
One does not find him. It is he who finds you, like he found your friend.
I just want to bring up, it's very suspicious that you disappeared right before we met that guy. I feel like if you are the villain, you really need to work on an alibi. Like, you really need to work on establishing an alibi.
You should find your friend quickly.
Okay.
I thought you were telling me that I couldn't find him.
Scoob, where's Shaggy?
He fell in the sewers.
He did? You have to find a way into the sewers and rescue him.
Was it really beneficial to record the voice line, you have to find a way into the sewers and rescue him? Because, like, obviously, I was kind of expecting him to have something more to say on the matter. Like, something at least uniquely Fred about it. You know? Alright, well, now we know what the clues do in the hub areas, at least. They open new pathways for us. Which is kind of... Oh, the Kung Fu costume. I remember seeing, that, yeah, over here. Sorry? Was that a level back there? Oh, okay. This is letting me know that this is the way to the level. I have a bit more respect for the game now that I understand that the clues open up new passages in the hub areas. Take another sip of my tea. I wonder how people who practice Kung Fu feel about the fact that there's so many pieces of media where putting on a Kung Fu outfit makes you adept at Kung Fu. Because there are a lot of those. Not the least of which is Blue Stinger. I love me some Blue Stinger. now have superpowers, I think. Which, again, is very un-Scooby Doo-like, but here we are. I'm sure one of those direct-to-DVD films had Scooby with superpowers. I'm not sure that makes it better or anything, but, you know, I'm sure one of them did. It's just, you know, Scooby's not supposed to be an adventure hero. The entire fun in Scooby's character is that he is cowardly, but ends up accidentally solving mysteries anyway, in spite of his cowardice. So it feels like making him so adventurous... It feels like making him so adventurous is rather opposed to the core of his character. But yeah, you know, the combat's not bad. You gotta space yourself appropriately from your enemies. You gotta follow up when they're vulnerable. It makes sense. Wouldn't present too much difficulty for kids, but probably enough. You see, you feel like Scoop would also be very scared of getting into that machine. It just seems like a very frightening prospect to get into that machine. Like, who knows where that tube is going, you know? Could be anywhere. It's like a dive kick. Wonder if I can use this for any, like, movement tech. Certainly seems to be faster than Scooby-Doo's, like, traditional run and such. I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I definitely get the impression that I'm not meant to, oops. I definitely get the impression that I'm not meant to just double jump up there. What's down here? More mubber.
Oh no, rats!
Or rats. I guess this is just the fail state. Like, you fall down here. And now you have to climb back up.
Oh boy, Scooby.
Collectibles up here, down here, though, so... How much a failure state can it really be? You get to collect more goodies. But yeah, so... Obviously, I'm not supposed to just double jump up there. Even though that... Do I blow... Yeah, I figured it out. I figured it out, game. You can move the hint now. There's a big paw on it. I just didn't notice it before. Take another sip of my tea. It's definitely cooled a fair bit now, but you know, that's fine. It is a brisk fall evening. I think it's evening right now. So of course the tea would cool pretty quickly. It's very fragrant and powerful while it lasted, though. And I do like my tea to taste a bit forceful.
Oh boy.
What's this do? I feel like if I had the dive kick, I could dive kick down to that platform right there. Maybe I can still make that jump, though. It feels like they really don't expect you to make moves like that in this game. I'm glad they let you. Also, like... She said the sewers were Zen2O's domain, and I mocked it, but I guess the guy set up, like, whole platforming gauntlets down here. Like, he really put the work in to make this place his own. This isn't a house, this is a home, you know? Like, sure, there's still the normal sewer mess to worry about, but he's really livened the place up with torches and gates and platforming obstacles. Now, granted, these wooden planks are a little generic for my taste. I feel like maybe he could do better than that. But that aside, you know, he's put in a remarkable amount of effort into making this place his own, and I feel like I didn't respect that at first. Like, you know, it's not often you go into a sewer level And you find this waiting for you. What is that? What? Find like an anvil? What? I suppose. Anyway, that's presumably what we came here for. Because we know those clues open up new things in the hub area. So I guess the first level at Mysterious Fright and Magic was more of a primer. Is this not... Can I not go back this way? It was more of a primer to set you up, give you proper expectations. And this is the first actual level proper. I figured the goal was to head back to the hub area, but I suppose not. I might just be thinking a bit too much. That could always be the case. I wonder if, like, aside from the dive kick, there's anything additional about the movement of this thing that I should... I am actually a little shocked that you're allowed to fall down here. I figured there would be, like, some big goofy fish monster that would jump out and attack me or some such. Alright, what do the checkpoints look like? They're monitors? Little bitty monitors? Alright. I wonder what the in-universe, if there even is an in-universe explanation for that, could possibly be. Can I jump this? No. I mean, I probably could have, but the game clearly doesn't want me to. They put a big invisible barrier there. Like I said, in general, it seems like the game just doesn't expect you to use its platforming mechanics outside of very rigid,
Oh boy, Scooby snacks.
very rigid functions. So, if the Kung Fu costume is made out of mubber, like, does that mean that it's just the skin on the creatures that is made out of mubber?
Oh boy.
That's possible. Do you think that the guy who's definitely the villain is meant to resemble George Lucas in any way? I was recently playing the Frogger game on the PlayStation 2. That doesn't narrow it down at all. There are so many Frogger games on the PlayStation 2. I was recently playing Frogger: The Great Quest on the PS2. And there's a lot about that game that's worth talking about because it's incredibly bizarre. But one of the things that stuck out to me the most is that the final boss appears to be an out-of-nowhere parody of George Lucas.
Scooby Doo.
If I'm understanding the artistic intent properly. Do I want to go ahead or do I want to explore more in here? It looks like there's stuff to get in here. I might as well goof around a bit more. That extra jump I did reminded me of when I was a kid, and I would always jump additional times, start mashing the jump button because I was afraid I didn't make it. Which, you know, doesn't actually help. Mashing the jump button doesn't do anything additional for your survivability.
Is this a trap piece?
I assume that when we get all three, we'll be able to trap Zentuo. I assume that's the goal.
Hello, fishy thing.
I can't seem to adjust the camera, so I guess I just have to go back now. Is what I'm getting. But yeah, I guess I'm really glad I didn't leave because those trap pieces are probably not optional. Because that's the traditional formula: is Fred has to build the trap before Shaggy and Scooby mess everything up. Mess everything up in such a way that they win. Man, this place is serious business. Like, it's an actual temple in here. Also, now that we're in the sewers, the 3D sections have gotten to feel a bit less empty. The area that seemed empty was definitely just the hub area being a hub area. you know, it naturally opens up and expands and grows to be more interesting both to look at and interact with as you progress through the story. I guess if you ever were at loss for how to get more mubber, you would just have to fight more. That seems like the easiest way to do it. What's this?
Some cheese, please.
Some cheese hidden in a waterfall in the sewer. It seems like Scooby Doo can't do the roll or ground slam when he's in his kung fu form, so it does alter his movement in a meaningful way beyond the dive kick. Why did I bounce? You always bounce when you hit those buttons? Maybe you do. I understand now why you can't ground slam them either. See, this is why it's important to move beyond one's first impressions and become accustomed to the art as a whole. Take another sip of my tea. Because first impressions are often completely inaccurate. Sometimes they can be beneficial. You gotta make really, really quick decisions. Like, has the game gotten better? Absolutely, but would I be happy if I spent full price as a kid on this game? Yes, also, because I didn't understand money. So this didn't really go where I planned for it to go at all, actually. I'm almost out of my tea. So where to go from here? Don't think so. There's a clue in here, though. Definitely. Oh, okay, there we go. We do want all the clues we can get. I either gravely misjudged that jump, or... Oh, can I get there from here? I do like him scrambling up the ledge. I feel like more ledge grab animations should be your character scrambling up the ledge, because I barely made it up that platform. So scrambling feels appropriate. I also feel like the roll could be used for some movement tech. Like, I feel like that could be engaging if one were to speedrun this game. And even though the game is still largely linear, there have been sufficient collectibles scattered about to make exploring feel more genuinely worthwhile. Like, it's, you know, it's a pretty generic, pretty regular licensed 3D platformer for the time period. There's nothing particularly good about it, nothing particularly bad about it. Like, I can't think of a single thing which really stands out positively or negatively about this whole experience, which one could argue is quite bad. I have argued that's quite bad, but I didn't really expect anything coming in. Alright, sure. Can I use this to defeat them? Yes, I can. It doesn't seem practical, but I sure can use the, what's it called? The Mega Blast, I guess is what they call it. It seems like the enemies freeze when I use it, too. I don't know if that's out of respect for my sweet skills, or, like, why they just stand still like that. Okay, no. They do not stand still. I guess that guy was just a little stuck. Can I break these? I wonder how the movement interacts with the combo he does, if that's in any way... Like, if you can interrupt the combo by moving, or... Well, like, I know these are not things that most people think about when playing Scooby Doo platformers. Just like they don't think about the ranged capabilities on enemies. Like I said, the combat's fairly good for a children's 3D action platformer. I guess that's something I can say is positive about it, is that the combat has the capability to genuinely challenge some kids. And I feel like, even though this isn't a lot, it's still something that you can unlock new movesets to fight with. I'm actually, part of me is kind of relieved that this is more linear, because anytime there's a super open 3D platformer, I spend forever goofing around. Which one could argue is the point. I would argue is often the point, is to explore like that. But I don't know if me climbing rocks for 45 minutes would necessarily be what anyone's after. Did I press it? Very nearly out of tea. Which means our time with Unmasked is nearly at its end. Not a bad first impression or anything. It's definitely not a game that I would go out of my way to play. But, you know, you could do worse as far as 3D platformers. And I suppose, you know, maybe you should do worse. Maybe if you had a choice between this and, like, a worse but more interesting 3D platformer, you should have picked the more interesting 3D platformer. I feel like that's fair to say. I don't actually know if I need the Kung Fu outfit for anything ahead, but I'm sure they put a mubber machine up there because, you know, the way this game is generally designed, there's no way they wouldn't account for that. I'm just waiting. Waiting on moving platforms. That's a staple of the genre. It would be really interesting to me if there was ever, like, a bad guy who explicitly designed these obstacle courses, which are clearly video gamey in nature, because he desired to fail and wanted the protagonist to find and combat him. Because, like, I don't get the impression that that's the goal of most villains.
Pepperoni.
I was incorrect in assuming that would give me the Kung Fu outfit. Look, Scooby, I can see that thing shaking. I think if you put a little more gumption, a little more effort... No, Scooby, it's fine. I know what we're doing. We're just gonna jump off the cliff. See, I knew what we were doing the whole time, Scoob. No need to be frightened. So the dive kick followed by, like, the regular hit combo definitely seems to take care of most enemies really easily. But I'm not sure if it's superior to just the roll that Scooby has in his base form. Like, I feel like the roll is the move. It gives you so much maneuverability. I guess you could just spam the dive kick over and over if you really wanted to. That's a possibility, right? It's not like I'm going to have enough time to experiment with that thought. Right, I've got one sip of tea left. Oh, well, I'm kind of glad we found this before I stopped playing. Gives me flashbacks to Nicktoons Attack of the Toy Bots, which, granted, Nicktoons Attack of the Toy Bots, brutally difficult for a kid's game for the better, I think. Highly memorable story. Very memorable slide sections. Like, in general, that was just a really fun and pleasant game. So being reminded of it is very fun and pleasant. The slide section isn't bad or anything. Like, you have to put some actual effort into evading the obstacles, and they come fast enough that you can't just lazily slide around them. But, like, it's not bad. It's not bad. I guess in general, that's the verdict for this game, is that it's not bad, but I can't think of anything too memorable about it aside from the fact that the combat is challenging enough. Like, I don't know. I'd honestly say that Sonic Boom Rise of Lyrics combat is more interesting, even if it's not better. And like in general, I'd rather be playing Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric than Scooby Doo Unmasked, because as bad as Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric can be, it's definitely a more creative, thoughtful work than this seems to be. So I don't know. Like, if this looks like a passable 3D platformer to you, that's because it is one. And if that's what you want, that's what you want.
Scooby, nice of you to drop in. Like that Zentuo dude just left me here to rot. But he didn't count on my best pal rescuing me.
I'm glad that we've saved you, Shaggy. Are you going to mention the new sweet Kung Fu outfit we have?
Scooby Doo.
Sorry, I can't break down this door, unlike all the others. Alright, we're gonna see what's in this room, and then after this room, I think I'm calling it quits, because I'm out of tea. That's how it works. The tea is a timer, more or less. When I'm done sipping on my tea, I'm done playing the game. I got a bigger mug, but that hasn't stopped me from sipping the tea very fast. Thankfully, Shaggy. The wall up here, breakable by my normal spin. We didn't need any special considerations this time around. The crates in this are really fun to destroy. I know that's not saying a lot. That's like one of the basic things you look for in any 3D platformer with crates. Oh, another combat section, okay. The thing about... Let's see if I can just spam the dive kick. Can I be hurt out of the dive kick? Okay, I can. It's possible to be hurt out of the dive kick. So I can't just spam it. I wonder if that does mean that... I wonder if that does mean that the roll is better. I guess I have better area attacks as Kung Fu Scooby. I legitimately wonder if the developers thought about these things as they were playtesting the game. It also seems like I have a lot of invincibility frames. I don't know what I picked up just now.
Scooby, you made it! Now let's get a wonton sundae, or something. Yeah!
Or something, he says. I missed a special ingredient again, Shaggy. I'm sorry. No, we don't need to save. That's okay. I am interested in seeing what these clues were, though. Because we picked up quite a few of them.
Hey guys! Ooh, what's that smell?
Velma, it's the sewer because we were in the sewer.
As well as fish, rotten eggs, stale rice, and, I do believe tarragon.
Has anyone seen Daphne?
Ah, that Daphne.
Like it was coming from the temple.
Getting up to her old tricks.
The bell you'd find in a temple. Maybe that's where Zentuo is hidden.
I mean, we also heard a scream coming from the temple.
This is a counterweight, used in emergency stairs. Maybe those stairs lead to Zentuo's hideout.
You're making some very, very strange leaps in logic, Velma.
This is a Pakwa, an important symbol in Taoism. It could be a key to some hidden secret.
I feel like we should teach kids about Taoism while we're here, actually. Let's talk more about it. I want to talk more about mysticism and how we commune with nature through our existence and how we are all part of the world. Experiencing the spontaneity and genuine humanity inside our souls. The Kung Fu machines have now been upgraded to ninja. I don't think that's appropriate for several reasons. I think that might be inappropriate. But I think that's it for Scooby Doo Unmasked. It's alright. Probably should play something more interesting. Even if it's bad, it'd probably be more interesting.